All right.
Now I don't feel bad about drinking.
Welcome back, our audience, because hopefully YouTube doesn't shut us down for all that, that dirtiness. I mean, I had to take a shower during the break here. And once again, this is the Real Sharks podcast on Pod Nation Media, where you can see that kind of content. Jesus. Anyway, I got another review to get through. And this one, Steve, I liked. Yes. And this is going to be Arcadian.
There are those who believe they came after the pollution people caused. And they're here to cleanse the planet of the human race. So we'll all become extinct. I have to stay vigilant. Do you understand?
So basically the synopsis is a father and his twin teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the world. Yes and no. It
is kind of.
It was this, but basically what I'm getting at, my audience, it was basically Every Night They Come. That's basically what it was. Much reminiscent of Cold Skin in a way.
Yes.
So Steve knew where I was going with that. So, but basically it's that kind of story of every night they come and we have to survive. It's a typical survival story. Yet it had some good elements. Nicolas Cage is the father and he is teaching his boys in a lot of ways how to survive against these. I don't even know what you call them. I mean, there is, at first you get this glimpse through a game with the kids where they're talking about, well, they're teens anyway, where they're talking about like, oh, there was these bugs that bit everybody and then everyone became werewolves and then the world went insane. But that's not what they are. And what's really crazy is they do have a lichen-esque element to them. But dear God, I can't even describe to you really what they are. They are some of the most freakiest aliens I have ever seen. Spoilers. They look like werewolves, but they also look like they have like a tiki torch head almost. And then some of them have like a wolf skull. And they do this weird weird wolf thing. Yeah, I know they're CGI.
Like a rattle?
Yes,
like
exactly.
Yeah, kind of like a rattle. It's like
but with their faces, it like almost like a jackhammer going.
Yeah,
like their mouths like.
Yeah, it's like clacking, and it's like it's weird.
And what's interesting though is
it reminds me of the giant cockroaches.
It's really they're interesting. I don't necessarily think they're good. They're just interesting. I was almost more intrigued by the creatures than I was the actual story at times.
Yeah.
But basically a typical story of, at night they come and then one of the brothers ends up falling in love for a farm girl. So then he starts to like really devote his time towards this girl and basically things kind of fall apart. Not to say that's the bad element, but Nicolas Cage was in this movie and he has like a really nice his heroic part, but he kind of goes just nowhere after that. He kind of just ends up being like almost like a vegetable, like a corpse almost for the rest of the film until the very end. So
yeah, that's where I stopped.
Even though he had
okay, so I've seen this movie. So does he go to this like corpse thing because he chooses to, or because the alien cockroach hissy thingies put a trance on him?
No, he actually ends up getting hurt because he's trying to save his son, and he ends up like blowing him up, but he also ends up like hurting himself. Ironically though, too, these monsters eat like, I want to say, a Venus flytrap. They like shoot this like parachute over people. Like I don't want to say what it looks like, but
you know what it looks like though, right?
And then basically they look like they're consuming them like into liquid and shit.
Yeah, they're like liquefying them to like I don't even know, like digest them maybe, but they shoot out some like weird and like thingy on their prey.
The movie itself.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say there was a movie or something like that. I think it was a spider that did it. They would shoot them with like this liquid, should cocoon them, and then just suck the insides out like a fucking crawfish. Just.
I wouldn't say it like that, but I like the analogy there.
Shelob.
Oh yeah, Shelob. Shelob. Fresh blood.
This is the prequel.
But ultimately, though, we talk a lot about execution in movies. And even though a movie may have the same premise as another one, the execution could be very good and still make a movie better or worse. This is one that I think did a good job at this element, doing the, every night they come kind of situation. Because I did enjoy this movie. I liked the elements of it a lot. Again, I like the cinematography of it. I thought it was shot really well. It was quaint. It was shaky cam too in some parts, but it was good. Like a little too shaky for me, but I enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
The special effects, like even though, like I said, they were CGI, and I could clear as day tell it was CGI. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. It was still.
That's okay.
It was okay. Liked all the characters, liked everything else. And here's what I'm holding up on: the music was weird. There was some weird elements in this music that kind of took me out of it. Like, not that it was bad music, but it was almost like you had that more of like that like kind of intrigue music, like from Eternal Sunshine kind of style, like a doon 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 with the piano. And I was like, I don't know whether I'm supposed to feel like sad here or scared
or
for
like
people.
anxious. Yeah.
It definitely took you out of the element in some parts of the music. It really sounded like they tried to, like, somebody was like, hey, will you write the music for movies? Like, sure, I've never written music. And then he like wrote it, and then he was like, oh well, don't know what to fucking put here.
Right. And it's like, well, we can't make any edits, so go.
So overall though, I gave this movie, I thought it was better than Gladiator 2.
The monsters were.
Listen, I haven't seen it, so
I give
I
it.
can't.
I give it like a 7. I'll give it a 7.
That's a solid score.
That's a solid score. I think it was pretty good. I think Nick Cage was good. There wasn't too much of him, and he did play his role really well, especially at the end when he's the sacrificial hero like he likes to be in some of his films.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Nice.
I enjoyed that a lot.